Why staying single can be one of the smartest decisions a man makes. Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something that many people avoid discussing honestly: the value of being single. In a world that constantly tells us that happiness comes from being in a relationship, many men rush into relationships without truly understanding themselves, their goals, or their readiness. As a result, countless men are suffering quietly. Some lose their peace. Some lose their focus, some lose their money, some lose their confidence, and sadly some lose themselves completely. They enter relationships they were never prepared for, and often they don't realize the damage until it's too late. This is why many wise men today are no longer rushing into relationships, simply to prove they are loved or accepted. Instead, they are taking a step back. They are observing carefully. They are choosing to build themselves first. Because a man who cannot stand alone will always struggle to stand strong beside someone else. Today I will share 5 powerful reasons why staying single can be one of the best decisions a man can make. 1. You discover who you really are. One of the greatest benefits of being single is self-discovery. Many men don't truly know who they are. They only know who they become when someone else is a row you can focus on your purpose. A man without purpose often turns relationships into distractions. When a man isn't building anything meaningful, he begins making another person the center of his entire world. He wakes up thinking about them. He spends all day checking messages. He constantly worries about what they're doing. He becomes emotionally consumed. Slowly, his dreams take a back seat. His goals become secondary. His future becomes unclear. This is how many men lose themselves. Not because they love too much, but because they lack direction. Being single gives you the gift of focus. It allows you to ask, what am I building? Am I improving my finances? Am I developing valuable skills? Am I becoming more disciplined? Am I creating a future I can be proud of? Purpose matters, because love alone cannot save a man without direction. A relationship cannot fix a man who is confused. No one can give you purpose if you refuse to build one yourself. Your single season is an opportunity to become serious about your future, to invest in your goals, to create something meaningful. Interestingly, when a man becomes focused on his purpose, he naturally becomes more attractive. Not because he's trying to impress anyone, but because focus creates confidence. Purpose creates strength, direction creates stability, and those qualities are powerful. Instead of chasing every opportunity for attention, use your time to build something real. When your purpose becomes clear, you stop seeing every relationship as an opportunity. Instead, you begin asking whether someone fits into the life you're creating. That is a completely different level of maturity. 3. You become emotionally strong. Many men don't actually need a relationship. What they need is emotional strength. Too many men jump from one relationship to another because they cannot sit alone with themselves. They fear loneliness. They fear silence. They fear facing their own thoughts. So they seek constant companionship to avoid discomfort. The problem is that whenever your happiness depends entirely on someone else, you become vulnerable. If they text you, you're happy. If they don't, you're anxious. If they pull away, you panic. If they threaten to leave, you beg. That is not strength. That is emotional dependence. Being single teaches you something valuable: how to stand on your own. It teaches you how to face challenges without running away, how to experience disappointment without falling apart, how to regulate your emotions, how to remain calm under pressure. A man who cannot control his emotions is easily manipulated. He tolerates disrespect because he fears being alone. He accepts poor treatment because he craves attention. He sacrifices his standards because he doesn't want to lose someone. But a man who has spent time building emotional resilience moves differently. He doesn't panic when someone leaves. He doesn't beg when someone walks away. He doesn't lose himself because a relationship ends. He may feel pain. He may feel disappointment, but he remains grounded. That is emotional strength. And every man needs it before entering a serious relationship. 4. You increase your value. Being single provides an opportunity for growth. But growth is not automatic. There are 2 kinds of single men. The first uses his time to improve. The second wastes his time complaining. One becomes stronger, the other becomes bitter. One develops discipline, the other develops excuses. One works on his health, his mindset, his finances, and his future. The other spends his time blaming everyone else. The choice is yours. Being single alone won't make you better. What matters is what you do during that season. Use your time wisely. Read books, learn skills, improve your health, build financial stability, strengthen your character, develop discipline. When you consistently invest in yourself, you become a different man. You think differently. You speak differently. You carry yourself differently. You stop being impressed by temporary attention. You stop settling for less than you deserve. People may not notice immediately, but over time they will feel the difference. Because a man who is actively improving carries a different energy. He isn't desperate. He isn't needy. He isn't searching for someone to complete him. He is already becoming complete through growth and self-development. That confidence cannot be faked. 5. You learn the power of choosing wisely. Perhaps the greatest lesson of being single is learning that being alone is not the worst thing that can happen. Being with the wrong person is far worse. Being in a relationship that steals your peace is worse. Building your life around someone who doesn't respect you is worse. Ignoring your values just to avoid loneliness is worse. When you become comfortable being alone, something powerful happens. You stop settling. You stop accepting relationships out of fear. You stop choosing from desperation. Instead, you choose from strength. You choose from wisdom. You choose from peace. You choose from self-respect. You become patient. You understand that not every opportunity is the right opportunity. You understand that not every connection deserves your commitment. And because of that, you make better decisions. You protect your future. You protect your peace. You protect your purpose. That is real power. Let me make one thing clear. Staying single is not about hating women. It is not about believing relationships are bad. It is not about pretending that love doesn't matter. Healthy relationships can be beautiful and rewarding. Love is valuable. Connection is important. Partnership can be powerful. But the key is timing and preparation. A weak man enters a relationship looking for rescue. A strong man enters a relationship by choice. A weak man looks for someone to complete him. A strong man first works to become whole. A weak man fears being alone. A strong man learns from it. So if you are currently single, don't see it as a punishment. See it as an opportunity. An opportunity to discover yourself. An opportunity to build your purpose. An opportunity to strengthen your emotions. An opportunity to increase your value. And an opportunity to prepare for the future wisely. Because the goal is not simply to find someone. The goal is to become the kind of man who is ready when the right person arrives. Thank you.